live. I'm live on YouTube from my radio. Save the video and then upload it on YouTube, right? So hey, I'm live. I want you all to join me in a couple of hours. It's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock my time. I'm on Central Standard Time. So I want you all to join me in a couple of hours. Um, I'm going to the check came in the mail today for $1,870 something dollars. It was a reimbursement check from Chase for my mortgage company, right? For my escrow and the refund. And I'm also going to show you live my statements. Um, and you can see it where my mortgage payment was $1,346 a month. Now it's $1,020. So I'm paying for my home, right? What most people pay for an apartment rent. So let's break that down. I did a lot of work today, as far as people that's already paid to get started with credit, and I have some consultations that I need to do. So try to get all this done in 3 hours so that I can be free to go live. So real quick, I had combination. Hello, Jesus from California. Hey, if you coming in, show me a heart digital love, because I love to recognize the people that join me live, right? Let me give you a shout out, call your name out, say hello, because we family, right? We're family by now. So put that heart emoji, or better yet, you can put the queen, right? Put the queen emoji in. Hello, Courtney, Mr. Holmes. You follow me on Facebook and YouTube. As my students say that I teach, because I coach basketball as well. And it might be outdated by now, but they say that's what's up, right? That's what's up. So I'm going to show you all through credit strategies, how I got that mortgage payment down. Hello, Miss Johnson. Thank you, Jesus. Now I'm gonna call you the king, because that crown can fit for the king or the queen. So I'm gonna call you King Jesus. And thank you so much for that queen emoji. Hello, Miss Johnson. Hello, Miss Johnson. What state are you from again? All right, thank you, Courtney. Look at my kings. Look at my kings. Thank you, my kings that's joining in. And so I'm going to show you how the very foundation of getting my mortgage payment down and that reimbursement check back from, how many of y'all have ever had a mortgage to pay you? When you said, talking about when you decrease your escrow so much, right? That not only does it decrease your monthly payment, but it also gives you 18,700 check back for the year on your property taxes. So I want to talk about collections charge out while I'm live, and bankruptcies, right? I listen to a lot of people on the subject of credit. I love studying and listening to people on credit. And I heard this one, um, I think it was a webinar, and very educated, right? Very educated, very knowledgeable about credit, but stated that credit or bankruptcy can stay on your credit report up to 7 to 10 years, right? And I want to inform people it can if you do not challenge it. What's up? What's up? Thank you, boss lady. Where are you from? Where are you from? Thank you so much. You call me boss lady. What state are you from? And thanks for the thumbs up. I got one thumbs up. So everybody that's live, you can hit the thumbs up on YouTube. And I'm like, that's true. The Fair Credit Reporting Act states or tell you that if you don't challenge, right, or dispute anything, it can stay on your credit report from 7 to 10 years. But thank you for the extra thumbs up on YouTube. Got 2 thumbs up, 5 people watching. So the other 3 that's coming in, if you can take time to hit that thumbs up button. I have more. My audience is building on. So how can bankruptcy? How do I get bankruptcies deleted? I'm not saying temporarily remove and they come back. Deleted from credit reports. Hello. Mississippi in the house. What's up in the SIP? From my home state. What's up? The sip. I got 3 thumbs up now. I think I need to come back home. I made that video that I wasn't doing credit repair anymore in Mississippi. But you know what? I don't know. I still collections dispute in Mississippi with the original debt collector, and I still teach the W4 wealth training. So I have some people reaching out to me. It's like from Nissan, right? All right, Orlando, Mark, guess what's up? I need to get talking. You are distracting me, but I love being live with you all so much. You're so engaging. It's Mississippi today. The forecast, weather forecast is predicting Wednesday we're going to have a cold front in July. I embrace it, but that is really, really strange, right? And so back to bankruptcy. Sunny Orlando. Hey, and speaking of, I got you all a family, right? So you're from Orlando, you're from California, even Alabama, beautiful Birmingham, beautiful cities. And now you all, let's put together a credit and cash flow conference. Like, let me fly in, come into your city. You get the you get the space and the revenue. We'll talk about ticket prices so that it'll pay for the transportation, and just need you to build an audience so I can set people free from paycheck to paycheck living and from bad credit, right? So bankruptcy. So this person really holds do-it-yourself credit repair classes, and was mentioning that, hey, bankruptcy, and I was commenting on the webinar, and I said, no, that's not true, right? It only can stay that long if you don't find someone who knows the laws to you're allergic. Why are you allergic to bankruptcy, Jesus? You know what? The reason why I'm not uh now these are the bankruptcies that I am against. I've seen a lot of chapter sevens that I got deleted off credit reports, and um they have charge cards and credit cards and collections and bankruptcies, and this is why I'm against it. Um, I If you give me the notice when you get a letter from a debt collector that you have, now I have 14 people live on it, 4 thumbs up. So if you're coming in live, give me a thumbs up so I can go live more on YouTube and not upload. And for my clients, that's got to spell court name in full. It's more than no, Mark. I'm gonna get back on collections and bankruptcy. Mark, the courthouse doesn't even report your bankruptcy to the credit agencies. And I have to be careful to use the word credit agencies because a lot of people use the phrase credit bureaus. And under the Fair Credit Reporting at the FCRA, they are not defined by credit bureaus. It's what's on my car? CRA. I don't know. And so yeah, CRA credit reporting agencies. And why I'm always meticulous or knowledgeable about saying it the right way, because people hear bureau and automatically they think government entity, right? FBI and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and they automatically go into the mind frame that this is a government entity. But no, this is just big businesses, right? That make billions and billions of dollars off of your bad credit, right? And so I got 5 thumbs up, 15 people live. You all give me thumbs up. And so how bankruptcy is, and on the grounds of the law, and the consumer have are deleted, is, well, the courthouse does not report your bankruptcy to Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian. They do not report to any of the 3 major credit agencies. So I always push on my gas too fast because in my car they want to be able to see subprime list. Ah, well, technically, Mark, what happens is credit reporting agencies then get your bankruptcy information. Did you all know that it's 3 big credit agencies, 3 major: Equifax, TransUnion, Equifax? But what a lot of people don't know, there are smaller credit reporting agencies like LexisNexis, ARS, SageScreen. All of these are really, really small credit reporting agencies, and they go into the public information, right? Innovis is one, and they pull your bankruptcy information. Now, why is this illegal under the Fair Credit Reporting Act? I got 20. Well, I don't know how many people lied. 6 thumbs up. You haven't given the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button. It's because the Fair Credit Reporting Act states that all information, all 100% of it, must be furnished by the original creditor, the original person that the transaction took place, to ensure your accuracy. Right? Did you know that? So if you knew that, put know that. If you didn't know that, put didn't know. Right? The requirements under the Fair Credit Reporting Act requires that the original creditor, the original source, LexisNexis report, make you look at make you look out the window. I know LexisNexis have everything about you, like where you lived years ago, who you married to, LexisNexis had detailed stuff about you, right? Okay, they have, but don't know. And so if the courthouse didn't report this information, then it's not reporting accurate, right? And so yes, it's very scary. So these are the terms, these are the conditions in which I get those bankruptcy deleted. Now, also, let me get into charge offs and collections. Someone said they did know that. Okay, Mississippi knows that. So let's get into charge offs and collections. All right, so how many of you all know that are new that when you receive a letter from the debt collector, it tells you on small writing and fine print that you have 30 days to validate the debt? So if you know that, put yes. If you never paid attention to that, put no, right? It tells you at the bottom 30 days to validate that debt. And so a lot of people get collection letters, right? And they push them to the side, push them to the side. And then after about 3 months or 90 days, uh, hear from you. Okay, Terry Jenkins knew that. And we want to push them to the side. We want to ignore, block the phone calls. And what happens about 90 days is uh, you got to rock them certified. I don't know what that means, Mark. About 90 days, it goes into judgment. They say, okay, you haven't responded to us in 90 days. Um, that now we're going to file a summons for you in court to collect this debt. So you ignored it, you put it to the side, and now the next thing you do, you get a summons from the court, right? So what happens though, that if you hire me, for example, a professional who knows the law, or consultant that knows the law, to make them validate the debt, then you owe nothing. I'm not talking about something that goes away and come back, or they sell it to another debt collector, right? You owe zero. Put zero in the comments. So what the thing is, a lot of people don't know how to make them validate the debt. They don't know what validation means. Chain of command, zero. Thank you, Jesus. No, it's not about a chain of command, Mark. I heard one lady say, and for example, from Mississippi, and Mississippi is still on here. I was in a Mississippi post office, and I heard the lady tell the clerk. She said, "I'm late paying my debt collector debt." Um, she said, "But I just forgot it was after 4th of July weekend." Another zero. Thanks, Mississippi. And she said, "But I just pay $5 a month, right? They can't take me to court." Have you all ever heard of that? So if you heard of that, say heard that. If I just pay $5 on it, they won't even take me to court. And a lot of people have that mentality in their mindset. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, if she only knew, she doesn't have to pay anything on it. If she would have did within her rights within 30 days, they have to have proper. Let me take these shades out. Something stinks now. If she would have did within 30 days, or hired me to represent her within 30 days, that entire debt would have been eradicated. That means nothing. I got $13,000 debt collectors out, 10,000, 11,000, all the way to 500. So what does validation mean under the law? What does 500? So what does validation mean under the law? What does validation mean? Well, when it comes to your credit report, you have the Fair Credit Reporting Act. But when it comes to debt collectors, you have the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, right? The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. So did you all know that, right? So under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, there's uh, a very list of things that a debt collector must have before they collect 1 cent from you. Try paying $5 on that car or mortgage, and you won't go to court. Right. One thing they must have, Mark, is the original contract with your wet signature. So even if they provide you an original contract with the original creditor, not them, that still does not tie you into a contract agreement with them. Did you know that? Right? That does not tie you because you receive services from another company or from a medical doctor. That does not obligate you to pay them. Right? And so oftentimes they don't even have that. And if they give you the original contract with your signature, that must be notarized. They can't just send you a contract. Okay, so Terry said did not know that. It must be a notarized original contract with your wet ink bearing your signature. And then from there, okay, still, then they must have in writing that you agreed to pay the original creditor. Did you know that? They must have in writing that you agreed to pay the original creditor and the terms and the conditions of the contract. And then they must have informed that they are legally obligated to collect from you on behalf of that original source or creditor that provided you that information. So now with that being said, um, medical collections. Now you have different types of collections. You have collections from you have collections from cable bills not being paid, collections from I don't know, you all give me you had different. Okay, I lost my signal, but I think I'm back on. Mark said you have one company that's trying to collect on the same debt, right? Original gangsters. And so you have different types. And then you have medical collections. Now, let me tell you, that's why I was thinking about what Jesus said about bankruptcy. I hate it when people file bankruptcy because of medical collections or regular collections, because those are collections you can dispute, right? And number one, if you dispute your regular collections first, be proactive and not reactive, it doesn't even report to your disputed first. Medical collections work the same way. Queen of hopes or hoops, which one? Um, email me, Michael. I promise you. Email me. I'll leave it in the description. Uh, HIPAA. Yes, you got HIPAA laws. You also have more HSA.gov that shows you your medical collections, right? And also, did you all know this on the Fair Credit Reporting Act? There's a law specifically about breaching your medical information. So not only can you get out of not owing the debt, but if you just hearing this and you didn't know, and now you come to the knowledge, now you know that you could have got out of your medical collections and your regular collection accounts, but it's already hit your bankruptcy. The way I get medical collections deleted and regular collections are two different phases. Um, I did someone's credit report today, and they had medical collections, and they had on the bottom of that report the original creditor, and it had some had one had the doctor's name, right? Uh, if they validate, yeah, and when I talk about wrong validation, one had the clinic's name, the hospital, and all of that is illegal to report on your credit report. So medical collections, and even charge offs. The difference between a charge off and a collection is a charge off is an account that after 180 days, 6 months, you have not paid, and the company write it off as a loss. So the company wants to save on taxes, just like Amazon pays zero on taxes, and then they write it off as a loss, but then they want to pass the buck on to you. And if you have, and I had, my business partner is a tax specialist, and he taught me this in our discussions about credit and cash flow. If you have the right tax specialist, right, that count as to simple terms, right? Um, yeah, medical, and the easiest not to pay, Quinn. Now, on a medical collections, the easiest to remove. Well, our collections are easy not to pay. In my case, I don't care if it's a student loan collection or repo collection, or you didn't pay your cable bill, or but medical bills, they're the easiest not to pay. They give you 30 days to make them valid. You didn't know that, and it hits your credit report. And a lot of people lose, or they let their collections just go on after 30 days they just ignore it. Then they get summons from the court, and often the debt collectors win just off of default, which means people don't even show up to court, right? And if they would defend, or if they know, or they would hire me to defend their rights, then they would save themselves hundreds of thousands of dollars. But FICO 9 medical collections more fair. Well, I mean, the law is the law. It doesn't matter what credit scoring model. It's right there in the Fair Credit Reporting Act that a medical collection cannot be collected on your credit report. And so it's easy, but this is what happens a lot of times when I'm disputing, right, the collections, whether it's medical or regular collections from credit report. The credit agency contact the debt collectors, and the debt collectors will send clients something back in the mail, right? So just because it's removed off your credit report does not mean that they still does not, they don't have the right to write or try to collect from you unless you know how to get rid of them directly. The source, not getting up. It's the same way with student loans. A lot of people think, oh, if I get my student loans deleted, I won't pay the student loans. Yes, you will. The credit reporting agencies are just a report card. Like if you was in school, it's just a report card of your performance on paying your bills, but they're not the original bill collectors, right? So then you have to know how to dispute the original source, the debt collectors directly, to get out of the debt. So back to charge-offs accounts haven't been paid in 6 months. So the company write it off as a loss. So that means if you owe Bank of America $10,000, for example, right? Bank of America would send you a 1099 form for $10,000, and let's say you made 75,000 in income that year. Now it makes it look like your income is 85,000, which means they're going to get you on the taxes. So you have to know, and I don't do taxes, but I do know how it works, and I can refer you to a good tax specialist. Um, right, you have to communicate. Well, hit them both at the same. Well, okay, my service is coming in and coming